How's the Tom O'Donnell stock portfolio?
It is peachy. Some CEO gets a bad cough and the company drops 10 points. You sure want me to ride with you to pick up Gertrude?
No, you have to pack for LA.
Baby, I'm gone for 1 day. So have you told Gertrude that you and I are a couple yet?
No, but I think she's about to find out.
Ah, is that right?
I need you to get every last leaf out of there because last time you left a few, it rained, the water just seeped right back into my living room. I had a water stain down my wall. And also, I want you to be careful of my azaleas. Last week, you crushed all of them. Have to be careful, Virgil, please. Hi, sweetie.
Hello, my dear. I still wish you were staying through the weekend.
I can't stay the weekend. This guy doesn't listen to anything I say. He's terrible.
Leave me alone, you pain in the...
Ask him if he ever pays attention to what I say. You know what? I forgot. I have to stop and drop the newspaper off next door.
Share the paper with your neighbor?
Saves each of us $10 a month.
Okay. I really wish you'd sell the house. I have plenty of room. Or you could get something nearby so I can keep an eye on you.
Check with me when I turn 100.
You know you love this city. I'm serious about this, Gertrude.
So am I. This is just lovely. You see, you just needed a little touch of a man, that's all.
Gertrude? Little Jane's magic gravy?
Oh, yes. So, when are you two getting married? Well, it's either that or you're grinning like that because you just won the lottery.
Gertrude, you really have to stop beating around the bush.
I'm just gonna fill you in.
You don't need my approval to be happy. So, you have a special date in mind?
We're just kind of sneaking up on it.
Ooh, sounds more like a burglary than a wedding plan.
Well, the gold futures are all headed in the wrong direction. So what I would like to do is I would like to liquidate, and I would like to apply all of the proceeds to the German tech fund that we spoke about. So if you could give me a confirming email that you received this, that'd be great. Thank you.
There you are.
Hey.
Doing deals at this hour?
No. Just leaving a message for my guy in Zurich. I was there half a day ahead.
I don't know how you keep track of all these companies and accounts.
So much for early retirement. Takes more work to keep the money than it did to earn it.
Mine appears to be shrinking.
I'm gonna have a look at your paperwork before I leave for LA tomorrow. So, how did we score on the Gertrude scale?
She said she's never seen me so happy.
Tell me this. What is the greenest thing you've ever seen?
Big fat emerald.
No.
A baseball field.
Nope.
A golf green. Ireland. I've never seen Ireland.
Do you remember my trust fund in Switzerland that I spoke to you about? Uh-huh. Well, it's gonna mature in 3 months. And I really think that'll be enough to take care of us for the rest of our lives. So I was thinking we'd head to Zurich and stop by Ireland on the way back. Making you happy makes me very happy.
So the football party's Sunday. I can pick you up if you want. And drive all the way back down to San Jose. No.
You know what? I'm happy to swing by and pick you up on the way back from LA.
You know, you two should spend your time planning a trip somewhere. I hear Ireland is very green this time of year.
That sounds like my car. Gertrude, it's always a pleasure. Let me know if you change your mind.
Thank
I'm
you.
walking you out, sweetie.
I had a chance to look at your portfolio this morning.
Anemic, huh?
You're not even keeping pace with inflation. But I'm meeting with a couple investor pals in LA, so I will see what we can do.
Okay.
Beat Henry Carmichael's, numbers on the fridge. My return will get me in at 10 a.m. on Sunday.
You want me to pick you up?
No. You have enough to worry about with the football party.
Oh,
Lipstick.
Ready to go, sir?
there you go.
Are we good?
Yeah.
All right, I will call Gertrude when I land just to make sure she didn't change her mind.
Okay. I love you.
That's my line.
Okay.
I love you too.
Any good?
Well, about every 10th book, this author recycles her plots.
Well, I'm impressed you can find 9 original ones in between.
Oh, honey, I am so glad that you're having a happy life. You know, I used to worry so much about you when you were little because you fretted about everything. You worried about the dress you were going to wear and the lunchbox you were going to take.
I stopped worrying like that when I married Al. He took care of everything, the money, the accounts, a car to drive. I guess I stopped thinking the world would end if I made a mistake. And when he died, it was like the roof fell in on me.
How long have you and Tom known each other? Is it like 10 years?
More like 20. He always had his accounts with Al, and he used to travel all over the world. He was divorced and come back with these really great stories. He saved me. I always thought I was a one-man for life kind of lady, but one night he was teaching me chess, and I just looked at him.
You know, watching most women never find one good man. And you found 2. So come on. Time to take this woman home. And no, I am not selling the house. I see that look. Oh, yes.
Love you.
I love you. Drive carefully.
Okay. Hi, Gertrude.
Hi.
I have the newspaper
Oh,
for you.
Rosaria, you're a doll. Thank you. Oh, Virgil. My azaleas.
This is Henry.
Hi, Henry. It's Jane Alexander. Is Tom around?
It's your sweetie.
Hey, baby. Excuse me a sec. Okay, baby, sorry about that. We were just grabbing a bite. How was your day?
It was good. I went grocery shopping. I bought stamps. How was your day?
I drove around all day long, saw some friends, got a little bit of business done, though. Speaking of which, I think we found a way to refinance the house, cut the mortgage payment by about a third.
Oh, that's great. And listen, I found tickets to Europe on sale if we fly in September.
I can't wait, baby.
Love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, that last batch went pretty quick.
Let's not get them too stuffed immediately.
You know, I'm no good at this. Look at.
Sorry, sweetie. Hey. Plane took off late. These are for you.
Thank you.
Gave Gertrude a call, no answer.
Oh, well, maybe she's in the garden. I don't know.
Evelyn, how are you? Thank you very much for taking care of things in my absence.
I'm trying to improve my cooking skills.
Baby, is everybody here watching the game?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hey, wait. Janie left a big hole in your tray there.
Gertrude. Gertrude.
Thank you, baby. Okay. Now we're talking. Here we go.
No.
Yeah, this is it.
Yes, this is Jane.
This is what it all comes down to right here.
Looking for our CSI. Sir, can I get a comment? Okay, guys, let's take this off. Make sure you get that.
I'm Detective Romer.
This is Jane Alexander, Gertrude McCabe's niece.
What happened? Please.
She was the victim of a homicide.
Homicide. Who would do this? Who would do this to her?
Maybe you better come, sir. We are trying to piece this together. It appears she was sitting on the couch. She was reading a book. She stopped. She had a little lunch. There's a half-eaten sandwich on the coffee table, and the book is opened up on the couch. The best we can figure, between 12 and 2 on Saturday, somebody obviously came to the front door. There was no sign of forced entry. Blunt force trauma to the back of her head, and as you saw, there was stab wounds. It was quite a few.
God.
Is it likely that she would have opened the door to a stranger?
No, never. She would have given him anything he wanted. He didn't have to kill her.
Gertrude raised Jane. As a matter of fact, the majority of her life she referred to her as Mom.
Well, does she have any enemies? Does she have any disputes?
No. But there was 2 handymen. I don't know. She fired.
Honey, I'm gonna run to the restroom. It was a long drive.
Hey, detective, they just called. I gotta go shoot a car accident blocking the freeway. I'll be back later.
Okay. Ms. Alexander, are you up for a walkthrough? Please. What we're looking for is missing objects. Things the killer might have taken.
Where's her checkbook? There's supposed to be a checkbook. She always paid with checks.
We haven't found a checkbook. Anything missing here you can tell?
I don't know.
Your aunt, was she getting a little forgetful? Confused, maybe?
No, she was forgetting little things.
We found almost $200 in this bag.
Emergency money. This is not right. Somebody stuffed this in here. Gertrude was meticulous about her things.
This looks to me like a robbery gone sour.
Who would do this? Who would do this to a harmless old woman?
I've been asking myself that same question since I was a rookie. Can you tell me where you two both were on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, Jane was in San Francisco shopping for a party. I was in LA on business. I'm happy to give you the ticket information, phone number, where I stayed, etc.
Thank you. We need to clear everyone so I can focus on the perpetrator.
Detective, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna get her home.
Good, good. Now, if there is anything at all that you can think of that would help.
Will do. Thank you.
As we have been reporting, San Jose police are continuing their investigation into the murder of Gertrude McCabe, which they are calling one of the most brutal and senseless crimes they have ever
Hey,
witnessed.
babe, why don't you take a break?
I have to write it all down. All of it.
You need to eat something.
The only thing I need to do is make this monster pay for what he did to her.
I know.
Gertrude was my life growing up. She raised me. Mom died. She was the one who raised me. She did my schoolwork with me. She took me to the movies. No child ever had a better mother. I should have made her sell the damn house and live with us.
Okay, well, there's no way you could have forced her to do that. That wouldn't have made her happy. Eating what you wanted her to, when you wanted her to.
No. I should have taken care of her. I should have looked after her. I'm gonna get this murderer. It's the last thing I do.
Okay. Come here.
I want to know why I'm here. Can you tell me why I'm here? I patched a leak in the roof. I cleaned some leaves out of the gutter. She paid me. I left, and that's all.
Sit down. Did you get along with Mrs. McCabe?
Yes, I got along with her.
Listen to me, Mr. Jackman. Virgil, someone killed that old woman. Maybe it was someone who thought they got shortchanged.
Nobody shortchanges me.
Yeah, I sense that about you. Sit tight. Mrs. Jackman, your husband is in a holding cell downstairs. It says in this file that you and he ran a retirement home in Florida, and that Virgil was fired for getting funny with the old folks' money.
Virgil can get funny with anything he puts his hands on.
Did Virgil have a beef with Mrs. McCabe? You listen to me. If Virgil is responsible for Mrs. McCabe's death, I don't have any issue with you. But if you cover up for him, you are going down too.
He worked extra for that old lady. Then she wouldn't pay him. Said he messed up some of her flowers. He's got a mean streak, Virgil.
Was Virgil responsible for Mrs. McCabe's death? Okay, then let's do it that way, all right? Jane,
Please tell me you have good news.
take a look at this. You recognize it?
Yeah. This was a plate Gertrude's brother gave her when she graduated.
What are the chances that she would have given it to a worker in lieu of payment?
No, not in this lifetime.
Okay, come with me. Can you identify that man?
Yes, he was her handyman, Virgil.
We found this plate in the trunk of his car. His wife said he did it. We haven't found the checkbook yet, but the bank said the last check to clear was to Mr. Jackman, and it was cashed just a few hours after your aunt's death.
So that's it. It's over.
That's it. We're gonna ask the DA to indict. We cleared the crime scene, so if you wanna get your aunt's possessions, you go right ahead.
You know what I can't figure? Why would Virgil take Gertrude's checkbook? It just doesn't make any sense.
Maybe he wanted to paper the town with bad checks and then split. I mean, think about it. It'd be a lot easier than pawning her jewelry. Come on. Let's change the mood just for 15 minutes, all right?
Hello?
Jane, Detective Romer here.
Is there an update? I haven't heard anything.
Well, there's been a development. It seems that Virgil Jackman was in Monterey doing landscaping at the time of the murder. The homeowner alibied him.
Why would his wife say he did it?
She was lying. She's done it before just to get even with him for hitting her. So the only thing we can charge Virgil Jackman with is stealing the silver plate.
Okay, so what's next?
Jane, we've cleared everyone who's ever worked for your aunt. Delivery men, former handymen. We're at a dead end. I'm sorry, Jane.
So they cleared Virgil.
Yeah.
Hey. It's a cop's job to find the killer. It's my job to take care of you.
Detective Romer. Jack Morris.
My replacement. Welcome to Homicide, Detective Morris. Oh, you got a chance to look at the McCabe files.
Everything in the file.
You read everything in the file. Well, good luck with it. I see some dead ends in my day, but this one takes the cake. You want Jane Alexander's bank statements and phone records. You don't buy the robbery theory? You do know we cleared Jane and her boyfriend months ago. She was in San Francisco, he was in Los Angeles. They talked on the phone that night.
Read that.
They got a theory? Yeah. I heard you don't talk much. Your captain of narcotics said you were the best interrogator he's ever seen. How does that work if you don't talk?
Me talking ain't the point.
You realize it's July, right? Probably start wrapping these Christmas presents after Labor Day, and well, you can still make it.
There's something missing, Tom, and it's about the checkbook.
Maybe I really think we ought to take that trip to Ireland. Let the police do their job. You're gonna go crazy if you keep this up.
You can't go anywhere right now.
I'm not gonna allow whoever did this to make you a victim as well. I'm not. I'll get it.
Hi, Detective Morris, San Jose PD. Can I come in, please?
Yeah, of course. This way. Jane Alexander, Detective Morris, San Jose Police Department.
Hi.
Jane, Jack.
Hi. So what happened to Detective Romer?
He took a job in private security. I'm the new guy. I just transferred in from narcotics.
Oh, so it's your first homicide.
Vale's giving the new guy a cold case.
Cold case. Okay, that's encouraging.
Detective, can I offer you a glass of lemonade?
Yes, thank you. Kind of ran into a dead end on the robbery angle.
Well, yeah, of course you did. It's what robber's gonna throw her stuff around and leave behind her cash.
Jane's been reading a lot of Gertrude's old mysteries.
Oh, that's really good. That's tangy.
So, do you have any leads, Detective?
I'm gonna look a little closer to home. Friends, acquaintances, family members.
I'm her only family member, and her friends are older than the automobile.
You don't have any financial dealings that Mrs. McCabe would have had? Loans, private party purchases?
I borrowed $25,000 from her for house repairs, and when I tried to pay it back, she just tore up the check.
Boy, that is really good. It's a lot better than the stuff in the can. Do you know what Mrs. McCabe's estate was worth? Houses, insurance?
Well, it's all tied up in the homicide, even the insurance.
Oh, right.
I have a feeling you already know this, Detective.
I've been looking at it. And I think it's worth about $1 million.
Probably.
Oh, one more thing. We're fingerprinting anybody who was a regular at the McCabe house. Would you two mind coming down tomorrow to be fingerprinted?
Not a problem, of course.
Great. Lemonade was spectacular. Thank you.
I'll see him out.
You know the killer wore latex gloves. There are no prints.
Sometimes you have to stir the pot. I want to thank you both for coming down.
Of course.
I just got this file from the FBI Behavioral Science Unit. They profile crimes, difficult ones, without that many clues.
Okay.
I shouldn't be doing this, but I would like to share some of this with you. Mind sitting down?
Sure.
No.
It's probable the killer or killers were known to the victim and acquainted with her normal routines. The lack of a forced entry and trauma to the back of the victim's head indicates she trusted her assailant enough to permit him entry and turn her back.
Or maybe she turned her back to run?
Since investigators have yet to identify missing objects other than the victim's checkbook, the ransacking may be viewed as an attempt to mislead investigators into thinking the crime was a robbery. The repeated attempts at killing the victim, which included multiple stab wounds and bludgeoning, suggest the killer was inexperienced in the commission of a violent crime. The most likely motive for the murder of Gertrude McCabe was to gain the proceeds of her estate. Do not eliminate the possibility the killer is a woman.
Are you insinuating I killed my aunt, the woman who raised me?
I'm just reading from the report.
Okay, you know what, Detective? This is ridiculous. First of all, Jane doesn't need anyone's money. I've got a trust that I'm about to cash that will more than take care of us financially, and she's very aware of that. Not to mention the fact that she was in San Francisco at the time of the murder. You know what, Beatty? I think the detective here is not interested in solving a murder. I think he's interested in clearing a case.
You're wasting your time, detective. And meanwhile, there's a murderer getting away with it.
I think it's time we get you an attorney. All right, well, let's make sure that happens ASAP. Okay, bye-bye.
Tom, they can't really believe I had anything to do with it.
I have a bad feeling that Detective Morris doesn't quite see it our way.
They can't arrest me for something I didn't do. It's crazy.
I think they're giving a lot of credibility to that FBI report. You know, they said she was killed for the proceeds of her estate. Do not rule out the prospect that the perpetrator might be a woman.
I'm scared.
Baby, look, I'm gonna go to Switzerland. I'm gonna take care of business, and I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna figure this out. I just need you to be strong right now. We're gonna be together forever. I just need to know that you're okay. Your finances are okay. The house is taken care of.
I love you so much.
I love you too. It's gonna be fine.
Hello?
Jane, Jack Morris. Not calling too late, am I?
No, it's okay.
I was wondering if you could do me another favor. Could you and Tom come back down to San Jose?
Tom just left for Switzerland. Why? What do you want?
Need you to take a polygraph.
You want me to take a lie detector test?
I just need to clear everyone I can. I'm trying to refocus the case.
This is insane.
Come down tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Just simply ask the questions.
I'm Jim Rode, Jane's attorney. I'd like to see the questions that you're going to ask her.
Chris. Is your name Jean Alexander?
Yes.
Do you live in Pacific Heights?
Yes.
Did you enter the home of Gertrude McCabe on October 6th of last year?
No.
Did you learn of the death of Gertrude McCabe by phone call? Did you learn of the death of Gertrude McCabe by phone call?
Yes.
Did you plan the murder of Gertrude McCabe with anyone prior to her death?
No.
Did you take the checkbook from Gertrude McCabe's home?
No.
Did you assist anyone in planning the murder of Gertrude McCabe?
No.
Were you present at the home of Gertrude McCabe at the time of her death?
No.
Did you murder Gertrude McCabe?
No.
You didn't do it.
Of course I didn't.
I was pretty sure you didn't.
Why did you put me through that?
Had to make sure you had no involvement before or after.
Are we done here?
Sure.
What's your next step?
Same old step. Catch a murderer.
Hello?
Hi, Joel?
It's Jane Alexander up in San Francisco.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
I'm just wondering if maybe you heard from Tom lately? He's in Switzerland, but has he called you at all?
No, not in a while. Not since he left.
If he calls you, can you just ask him to get in touch with me?
Sure, no problem. Take care.
Thank you.
got some coffee? I got something you need to see. Look at that.
It's a car rental receipt with your name on it.
Yesterday, I flew to Los Angeles. I rented that car, and I drove from the airport to San Jose. I marked the mileage at the bottom.
672 miles.
Now, look at this receipt.
Henry Carmichael.
That's the same car, same license plate. Rented the day that your aunt was murdered. Look at the mileage.
You're telling me Henry Carmichael killed my aunt?
No. Henry Carmichael rented the car, but he never left Los Angeles. I checked.
I don't understand.
Henry Carmichael gave the car that he rented to someone who didn't want his name on the rental car receipt. Tom O'Donnell drove to San Jose. Tom O'Donnell murdered Gertrude McCabe.
Have you gone completely mad? I've known this man for 20 years. I've never even heard him raise his voice.
The mileage points to Tom.
What possible motive could he have?
The oldest motive in the world. Money. Your aunt's estate was worth almost $1 million.
No, Tom is not related to Gertrude. He doesn't get a penny.
I knew this was going to be difficult for you.
No, I'll tell you what's difficult. My aunt is dead. And since you can't nail it on me, you're going to nail it on someone else who had nothing to do with it.
Something else I want you to look at. This is a picture of a tissue that was found in your aunt's house. Didn't match anything she had. It's also a lipstick smudge. And we checked around, and it didn't match anything that she owned. And you just think about this. Check it out.
Where did they find it?
They found it stuffed down her throat in a crude attempt to keep her silent.
Good night, Detective. This detective said you rented a car and gave it to Tom.
I put the rental car on my credit card because I owed Tom money. You know, he spent all day going to banks trying to refinance your house for you. I can't believe this, Jane.
I'm sorry, Jane. You don't have enough to cover it.
How can my balance be this low? I'm never overdrawn. I've been in this bank forever.
You weren't aware that Tom transferred out a large sum before he left?
He was just managing some stocks.
Well, he transferred the money somewhere.
What about the line of credit on my home?
Looks like you're maxed out, plus you have a balloon payment due. Sorry.
Dearest Jane, I asked a friend to forward this letter to you. When I returned to Switzerland, the authorities were investigating my former business partners for some of our transactions. It's a mess. My partners tried to blame me. There have been threats, and I fear it could be dangerous for anyone I'm close to. It pains me more than you will ever know. But you must not try to contact me until this mess is cleared up. I only want what's best for you, and I miss you more than you could imagine. I will never forget our magnificent years together. All my love, Tom.
This is a picture of a tissue that was found in your aunt's house. It's also a lipstick smudge. And we checked around, and it didn't match anything that she owned. They found it stuffed down her throat in a crude attempt to keep her silent.
This is an antique. It belonged to my aunt, so 200 is the best I'm gonna do on that. Okay, so thank you very much.
I got a message you wanted to see me. Something important?
Yep.
You moving?
No, the bank foreclosed on my house. I owe more than it's worth, so they're just gonna take it off my hands. Let's go inside. Abby, you can keep an eye on this, right? This is the lipstick. I kissed him when he was going to LA, and he wiped it off and put the tissue in his pocket. This is the exact tube. It's very clever, giving me the photo.
Some people you push, some people come by their own design.
I got this from Tom on Christmas Eve. He says he's in Europe. He's still in the country, isn't he?
I checked every airline and cruise ship from Canada to Mexico. And unless he swam, he's in the U.S. somewhere.
I feel like the world's biggest idiot.
You said it yourself, Jane. He never gave you any reason to mistrust him.
And that trust has taken everything from me.
Even with this, I have no evidence. There is one thing that I can do. You fill out a complaint for him taking your money, and I will put it out on the wire. And when we find him, I will interrogate this guy for murder. This guy's dangerous, Jane. There's no telling what he's gonna do when he finds out we're on his trail.
Okay, you arrest Tom O'Donnell. I can take care of myself.
It's kind of small.
Ooh, kind of small. You know, maybe it should come with a shoehorn or something. What do you think?
It's cozy.
Wait a minute. Come on, you're not seriously thinking of living here.
It's very cheap by San Francisco standards.
Well, how about free? Come live with me and Bob. I can't let you stay here.
Ev, you're a great friend, but I dug myself into this hole. I'm digging myself out of it.
Honestly, when I spoke to the agency, I was a little concerned.
Why?
Well, the job recruiter said you hadn't worked in, what is it?
It's a little while.
Oh.
I worked on Wall Street.
Makes me wonder why they sent you here.
Something about nobody else wanting this job.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask you why you requested the night shift?
During the day, I'm tracking a killer.
Cathedral Hill Rest Home, how may I direct your call?
Money's gonna do when he finds out we're on his trail.
Hello?
Jane, Jack Morris.
Have you been getting my letters?
You mean roses red and violets blue, Tom O'Donnell is laughing at you? We got a whole pile of them.
You can expect more.
Jane, listen to me. If Tom is in touch with his friends and he finds out you're trying to track him down, that increases the chances of him coming after you.
Okay, let's look at it this way. If Tom O'Donnell kills me, he'll be easier to catch. You can expect more letters.
Good night, Jane. Try to keep awake.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Is this Shelley Markham? This is Jane Alexander.
Oh, hey. Joel told me you called a while back. How you doing? Did the cops ever find that guy who killed your aunt?
No. They didn't. I'm just wondering if you've heard from Tom.
Not in a while.
Do you remember when you saw him last? He did mention that he might swing by Las Vegas and see you and Joel on his way to Europe.
Yeah, he stayed with us on his way to Sweden or something.
Switzerland. You saw him on his way to Switzerland.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta get to work. You take care, okay?
Okay. Jack, you have to take a trip to Las Vegas.
Not a bad place to hide, Vegas. Blend in with all those tourists.
Hello, cowboy.
You've been bad, Tom, stealing Jane's money.
I didn't steal anything.
Then there's the other matter. You know, Gertrude McCabe.
And you wonder why I left. Is there anyone competent there where you work? Anyone at all, Detective?
I found the car your buddy Henry rented for you. The one with all those miles. If you can explain that, this'll all go away, Tom.
If I was fleeing a murder charge, why would I move to Vegas where anyone with a brain could find me? Besides, if you had me on murder charges, you wouldn't be arresting me for fraud, that's for sure.
What do you mean you won't extradite him? He murdered an old woman.
First of all, you don't have sufficient evidence. The issue isn't murder right now, it's fraud for stealing your money. I mean, on the surface, a jury could see this as a financial dispute.
No, I want this guy for the murder of Gertrude McCabe. You don't extradite him, we'll lose him forever.
God help you if you let that happen.
Extradition proceedings aren't cheap.
You're kidding, right?
How do people like that get in power?
They get elected.
Not by me. So where are we?
Well, unless we can wave a magic wand and get him to volunteer for extradition. Tom and Donald walks tomorrow.
Not if I can help it.
Don't do something you're gonna regret.
Are you okay?
Yeah, Jane, I'm fine. Why? Jane, why would you do that to me?
I didn't want to file the fraud complaint. Tom, please. The bank was going to come after me. I never wanted to do it.
But you know why I took that money. I took it so I could go to Zurich and cash the trust for you. I did that for you. And now you know what that crazy detective is saying? That I killed Gertrude. Me.
I know.
Have you ever seen me hurt anyone?
Never.
Threaten anyone?
No, never. Tom, please come back willingly and talk to them. Don't make them extradite you. Please. I would never testify against you. And I'll drop the fraud charges. I settled Gertrude's estate. I'm going to get you an attorney. I'll post your bail. Please come back.
I love you, baby.
I miss you so much.
You've reached Detective Morris. Please leave a message.
Jack, I waved the magic wand. Tom O'Donnell just agreed to voluntary extradition.
All rise. Please be seated.
Thomas O'Donnell, you pled guilty to one count of fraud for the theft of monies from Jane Alexander. Do you have anything to say before sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm innocent. Jane Alexander actually requested that I invest a sum of money for her, which I did. It wasn't until I paid myself a fee that she filed fraud charges against me. I pled guilty under duress because of false information provided by Miss Alexander, which is also the reason I returned here voluntarily.
Wrong speech, Mr. O'Donnell. What I was looking for was, I'm sorry I stole her money and ruined her life. Perhaps 4 years in the state penitentiary will give you some time to mull it over. Bailiff, remand him to custody. Counselor, would you approach the bench, please?
But we still can't charge him with murder.
DA needs more evidence. Right now, Tom's got an alibi for everything.
Jack, I'm gonna get justice for Gertrude if it kills me.
Excuse me, do you know where Margaret is?
Over there.
Thank you. Margaret.
Jane, how are you? I heard what Tom did, taking your money. I can't say I'm surprised.
Why's that?
Well, my husband and me gave him money to invest. We never got no statements, nothing. He said the company went bankrupt. Big lie that was.
Margaret, I was looking at my phone bill and I noticed he called you the morning my aunt was murdered.
He called to say she died and that he was coming into some money so he could finally pay us back. I gotta go.
Are you sure that was the morning Gertrude was killed? He called you 3 times that month.
I'm pretty sure. There was a football game on TV, 49ers and Broncos. I really gotta go, sorry.
Homicide, Detective Morris.
Jack, Tom called his niece and told her Gertrude was murdered an hour before we knew she was dead. And he told her I was coming into Gertrude's money, okay? So there's your motive.
She's sure. That's the only call he made to her during that period.
No, he called her 3 times that month, but she's pretty sure because she remembers the football game being on.
I'll call the DA and let him know.
Mr. MacArthur, I'm Jane Alexander, remember? Did you review Detective Morris's note on Tom O'Donnell's niece?
The note says Margaret Wilson was pretty sure about the date of Tom's call. I can't convict on pretty sure.
You're a pretty good prosecutor, right? What is it, 82% convictions on major felonies?
A lady who does her homework.
Yeah, well, somebody has to. Batting average like that should earn you big fat salary in private practice, right?
I'm gonna need more than this.
And I'm gonna need a prosecutor with some guts. You don't happen to know where I can find one, do you?
Joyce Saldano. The guy in my office calls her the queen of lost causes. She'll try any case if she believes in it.
Thank you.
I'll call you back. Jane.
Yeah.
Joyce Saldana.
Hi.
Do you mind if we get straight to the point?
Please.
Frankly, this case stinks. There's no physical evidence. Not a strand of hair, a fingerprint, nothing. No murder weapon, no witnesses.
Cases based on circumstantial evidence get won all the time, and every bit of this points to Tom O'Donnell.
Then there's the motive. I searched every murder conviction in this county, going back 30 years. There's not one case of a suspect murdering someone so that someone else could collect the victim's estate.
Unless they're in it together. We're just off to a rousing start.
Tom's friend Henry still claims that Tom went to Vegas and was back in the afternoon. Too early to have driven to San Jose and back.
Personally, Miss Saldano, I would charge Henry with perjury and accessory to murder.
That's exactly what I intend to do.
I thought you said you weren't going to take the case.
I said the case stinks. I didn't say I wasn't going to take it. Why don't you sit down and have some dinner? I have a few questions to ask you. Please, sit down.
Fire away.
Jane, if we fail, Tom O'Donnell is a free man.
But he isn't free yet. No. No, no. Don't tell me.
model prisoner. First offense, gets out this week. He only had to serve 9 months of the 4-year sentence.
See, this is why they call it the criminal justice system, because it's criminal the way they administer justice. Just don't ask me to hide from him.
You know, Detective Morris tells me that you're quite adept at finding the little pieces of this puzzle. I sure could use some more pieces.
I just don't understand the purpose of this.
I got Tom to agree to one more interview. Told him if he checks out, that he never has to talk to me again.
But you're lying, right?
Me? Lie to a murderer and his attorney?
Charlie Vaughn, I'm Mr. O'Donnell's attorney. I want to remind you, Detective, that we're here voluntarily.
Anything I can help you with here?
I'd like to clear up this Gertrude McCabe stuff.
Not as much as I would.
It says, here, you drove to Vegas, correct?
I drove to Las Vegas. I drove up and down the Vegas Strip. I was waiting for a woman to get off work. For personal reasons, Detective.
I can't find her name.
You're gaming us, Detective. Mr. O'Donnell has refused to supply her name. The lady was married.
The hotel where this rendezvous took place.
You remember every hotel you've ever been in? Every restaurant? And yes, I did. I paid cash. I didn't want to hurt Jane if she stumbled across a credit card statement.
Was it a big hotel, a little hotel?
I was meeting a woman in a hotel room, Detective. I was more interested in her than the decor. I would appreciate it, Detective, if Jane Alexander didn't find out about any of this. Despite making my life miserable, I actually care about her.
I'll just keep that between the two of us. This is a rental receipt. It's the car Henry rented and you drove.
Okay.
It amazes me that the mileage is exactly the distance between the Los Angeles airport and Gertrude McCabe's house and back.
I was in Las Vegas, Detective.
The round trip to Las Vegas is 220 miles closer than San Jose. You would have had to have driven up and down the Strip 84 times to make up the difference.
I got lost driving back to LA. I was tired. I was actually falling asleep at the wheel, and I accidentally pulled down a country road. I found a bird town named Atola or Atoya, something like that.
That totally explains it. I wish you'd have said that before. How far up the road is this little town? Atola? Atolia. How you spell that?
Look it up, Detective. Unless you're planning on rearresting my client, he walks in 2 hours. Let's go.
Yep.
At least he really cares about my feelings.
He's that kind of man.
You think you know someone your whole life, and one morning you wake up to the double.
They're gonna let him go. And you have to be more careful than ever.
It's Atola. Atola. Anything. Attolia. Anything. It's a town. Oh my God, what happened?
Someone broke in. One of your neighbors heard noises, call 911. I put you on a watch list with the San Francisco PD. I came as soon as they called.
Is it Tom?
No, it's not Tom. I called his parole officer in San Diego. He's right where he should be. This is a random event.
What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do?
Jane, you called me with some information.
Yeah, the town, Atola.
Atola is a ghost town. I talked to the sheriff. No one's lived there for 40 years. Tom probably found a map in the prison library and calculated how far he had to drive to make up the mileage on the rental car.
I guess if you lie enough, then sooner or later, one of those lies is gonna catch up with you.
I've already got Joyce issuing an arrest warrant. They've been living together for months.
Hey, baby.
He met her online using a computer in the prison library. Told her he was an investment banker.
That's how he can afford the fancy lawyer. He found another one as pathetic as me.
The pathetic one is in handcuffs.
Your Honor, just how many continuances is Mr. O'Donnell going to receive? This is the 5th one.
This is a murder case, Your Honor. The defense needs time to prepare.
Mr. O'Donnell is stalling. His alibi witness, his pal, Mr. Carmichael, has cancer. Mr. Carmichael is afraid I'll slap him with perjury when he's called in to testify. Mr. O'Donnell is stalling until Mr. Carmichael dies.
Well, if that happens, we'll proceed without Mr. Carmichael's testimony. Until then, Mr. O'Donnell will remain in jail.
I know you've had a long day, and I'm not going to keep you here any longer than I have to. But there's something I have to show you. These are the original photos taken at the crime scene. This picture was misfiled, taken by a second photographer later that day. Someone put the checkbook back in the drawer while you were still in the house. Where was Tom?
At one point, he excused himself to go to the bathroom.
Unbelievable. This guy's a piece of work. He put the checkbook back in the drawer, not knowing the desk had already been photographed.
Why would he do that?
Because he knew the estate, the big money, would be tied up with the homicide. He wanted to know how much cash Gertrude had on hand.
He was desperate for money. That's why he killed her.
Hang on. Morris. Henry Carmichael's dead. Tom's attorney's demanding the right to a speedy trial.
Jane, can I speak with you, please? I'm concerned about your testifying. Tom's attorney has asked to see everything you've touched, every witness that you spoke to, and every letter you sent to the cops. He's coming after you, Jane.
I can handle it.
Look, what you did was miraculous. But it's my case now.
Just facts, ma'am.
Circumstantial evidence is like playing chess with just the pawns. If your anger takes over, the defense will eat you alive. This is one of the most heinous crimes ever. The cold, calculated, and remorseless murder of Gertrude McCabe. The defendant, Tom O'Donnell, bludgeoned her, stabbed her repeatedly, and when she wouldn't die, he strangled her. All so that the victim's niece, Jane Alexander, who had no knowledge of any of this, could inherit the estate and Mr. O'Donnell could enjoy the proceeds.
Would you stop, please? You're driving me crazy.
You're gonna have to chain me up.
You want to explain to me why they don't want you sitting in on the opening arguments?
Because they don't want any witnesses to be influenced by someone else's statements.
You know, maybe you should consider a career in criminal justice. It's really scary, but you're getting good at this stuff.
Maybe I should consider a career on a bomb squad, which would be saner than this. No thanks.
The defendant was clever enough to dispose of the murder weapon and wear latex gloves. That alone proves premeditation. He plotted an elaborate alibi, which he later changed repeatedly when being interviewed by detectives. Our case is built on circumstantial evidence, and all of it points to the defendant, Tom O'Donnell.
Tom said Gertrude had been murdered and Jane was going to inherit her money. Then he was going to pay us back the money that we gave him to invest.
Marked Exhibit 3. Let the record show that Tom O'Donnell made that call to San Francisco to his niece 2 hours before the body was found.
When did you first hear your uncle mention Gertrude McCabe's death before her body was found?
Jane told me. Jane Alexander.
So you didn't report it to the police?
No.
This whole thing, the time of Gertrude McCabe's death, your uncle being the alleged culprit, all of this came from Jane Alexander.
Yes, she came to visit me at work.
And what was the reason for the visit?
Objection calls for speculation.
It establishes the underlying motive of the prosecution's star witness.
I'll allow.
She was looking into who killed her aunt.
Detective Morris, this was a difficult case, wasn't it?
Yes.
So difficult that you felt like you needed to seek outside help. Defense Exhibit 11, Your Honor. This is a report from the Behavioral Science Unit of the FBI. A report you requested. Would you read the underlined portion, please?
The most likely motive for the murder of Gertrude McCabe was to gain the proceeds of her estate. Do not eliminate the possibility the killer is a woman.
I'm sorry, one more time, the last piece there.
Do not eliminate the possibility the killer is a woman.
Which led you to suspect Jane Alexander.
Until I found out she was still in San Francisco at the time of the murder.
Providing your theory about the time of the murder is correct. The body wasn't discovered for at least 24 hours. Isn't that right?
Right.
And yet you continued to question her several times. Who gained financially from Ms. McCabe's death?
No one yet.
But that's only because the insurance company refused to pay, while Mrs. McCabe's house deteriorated because the estate was in probate. Now, how much was the estate worth at the time of her death?
Estimate around $1 million.
And Jane Alexander was the sole beneficiary?
Yes.
1 million reasons to suspect the woman who is now your star witness.
Nobody said anything, but I can tell from Joyce's face we're not doing so well.
Well, I hate to say that I agree with you, but I gotta say that I agree with you.
You're trying to pin this on me. And we can't even tell the jury I passed the polygraph.
Jane, how does anybody get through an ordeal like this? I mean,
They don't. They take their poison 1 grain at a time.
We're awaiting the arrival of star witness Jane Alexander to take the stand. The defense has portrayed the victim's niece as a woman who tampered with witnesses, a woman bent on revenge.
Witnesses have testified that you made phone calls, tracked witnesses, collected evidence. What exactly is your training in criminal procedure?
I read a lot of books.
Sort of a self-taught Sherlock Holmes.
Objection. The jury can draw their own conclusions.
Sustained.
You were obsessed with this case.
I was determined to get justice for a woman who never hurt anyone.
Mr. O'Donnell's niece, Margaret, whom you visited, knew you were out to get him.
Objection.
Sustained. Please, would you rephrase?
Did Mr. O'Donnell's niece know that you were out to prove that Mr. O'Donnell was guilty of this crime?
No. No. When I spoke with Margaret, I had no idea he'd mentioned the murder several hours before the body was found.
You were angry with Mr. O'Donnell for losing your money in investments.
No. At the time of my aunt's murder, I was unaware of his theft.
But you became angry, vengeful that your financial setbacks eventually cost you your house.
They weren't financial setbacks, Mr. Vaughn. Your client robbed me.
But your anger had to have fed this desire to see Tom O'Donnell behind bars.
Justice is fed by many things, common decency being one of them.
Prior to her death, how much money did you borrow from Gertrude McCabe?
Prior to her murder, I borrowed $25,000.
Which you never repaid. So once she died, you were off the hook.
You know, I tried repeatedly to repay her, but she wouldn't take it, so there's no hook, right? And I was never on one.
You were desperate for money.
After Tom O'Donnell stole my money, I had to take care of myself, as any sane person would do.
Motion to strike is non-responsive, Your Honor.
You asked about a financial state of mind. Overruled. We continue.
So you were not motivated in any way by anger or revenge?
Anger will kill you. And revenge isn't justice.
Your Honor, the defense has exhausted this line of questioning, not to mention the entire courtroom.
We'll take a noon recess. When we return, Mr. Vaughn, you'll move on.
Hello. Yeah, this is Morris.
Yes, sir. I'm the detective on the McCabe case. I'm at the courthouse, room 103. Can you get that to me? I'll be here.
It pains me to say it, but his lawyer is really good.
Well, they should be for what Tom's new sweetie's probably paying him.
You're doing great up there, Jane. Just stay vigilant. Keep your answers focused. He's trying to wear you down and trip you up. Just answer the questions. Don't offer anything he doesn't ask you. Remember, focus.
I need to see you.
You guys, why don't you just go sit down? What's up?
This might help.
Good. Because if the defense keeps attacking like they are, I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's not say anything about this right now. Thank you.
Ms. Alexander, the police originally suspected you of committing this crime, didn't they?
Yes, they did, until the evidence pointed to Tom O'Donnell.
Would you please read the underlined portion of the FBI profile?
Do not eliminate the possibility the killer is a woman.
Pretty damning conclusion.
Well, it's just wrong, because he's the killer.
How much money did you stand to inherit when Ms. McCabe died?
Gertrude McCabe was murdered.
A forensic accountant said it was $1 million. You really had no idea?
I'm not the one who put a dollar sign on her life.
You told friends and police that you would do anything to convict Tom O'Donnell of this murder.
Originally, I told them I would do anything to clear his name. Then this evidence started piling up, and even a fool like me had to believe it.
You told police that in all the years you knew Tom O'Donnell, you never met a kinder man, that he never used an unkind word.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I was completely fooled by him.
And then all of a sudden, this gentle, generous man turns into a cold-blooded killer?
Yes, he did.
I'm sorry, Miss Alexander. It just doesn't seem plausible. Nothing further, Your Honor. The defense rests.
Miss Aldano, does the prosecution want to re-examine the witness?
Briefly, Your Honor. I'd like to submit this document that I've just received as evidence.
Objection. Permission to approach the bench. Your Honor, the defense was not given proper notice.
Overruled. I'll allow.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Alexander, this document was just given to me by Detective Morris a few minutes ago. Could you tell the jury, please, what is the document?
It's a life insurance policy.
And who is the insured?
I am.
And what is the amount?
$1.5 million.
Did you take out that policy?
No, I didn't.
And is that your signature?
No, it looks a little like it, but I've never seen this before.
Could you please tell the court whose name is there as the beneficiary?
Tom O'Donnell. Jack was right. You were gonna kill me next.
Miss Alexander, please.
All rise. Please be seated. Now, in the matter of the People versus Thomas J. O'Donnell, and the sole count of murder in the first degree, how do you find?
We, the jury, find the defendant, Thomas O'Donnell, guilty.
Mr. O'Donnell, given the time that it has taken to bring this case to justice, and the jury has found you guilty, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yes, Your Honor. The FBI report said the crime was committed by someone timid, someone inexperienced. Understand me, I was raised in Montana. I know how to hunt and kill. I've killed deer, elk, bear, and I know how to do it with a gun, knife, or stick. If I wanted to kill Gertrude McCabe, I'd do it right, clean and fast. Not like some pathetic amateur.
Miss Alexander, I'm juror number 4, and I just want to tell you that I prayed every night for you to survive on that witness stand. I am so happy for you.
Thank you.
Need a police escort?
Okay, where'd you find the policy?
Had a phone call from a guy named Daniel Niles, insurance broker. He sold a policy to Tom O'Donnell for $1.5 million with your name on it. He was watching the case, put 2 and 2 together. Me? I answered the phone.
No, you saved me.
No, you saved yourself. But then again, that's why I make the big bucks.
Miss Alexander, are you happy with the verdict?
Justice was served. Nothing's gonna bring back my aunt.
The defense portrayed you as a spurned woman bent on revenge. How would you describe yourself?
Moral. You borrow $50, you pay it back. You kill someone, you go to jail.
Thank you. Miss Alexander.
Miss Alexander?
Yes.
Lyle Sanders.
Hi.
Thanks for taking this meeting with me. I read about what you did, getting justice for your aunt.
I only hope if I was murdered, someone would do the same for me. So tell me about your sister.
Well, her husband shot her in the kitchen of the house. He claimed that the gun went off accidentally, and the police closed the case in 4 days. They ruled it was an accident. What they didn't know was that she inherited a large sum of money from our parents and was scared to death of her husband.
How long ago did this happen?
It was 12 years ago. Here's the police file.
I'll call you as soon as I read it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
হ্যালো, দেখতে পাচ্ছেন খুব সুন্দর একটা ড্রয়িং। এই ড্রয়িংটা আপনি চাইলে খুব সহজে করে ফেলতে পারবেন মাত্র কয়েকটি রং পেন্সিল ব্যবহার করে। কিভাবে ড্রয়িংটা করবেন, কি কি রং পেন্সিল লাগবে এই ভিডিওতে আমরা আপনাদের সাথে শেয়ার করব। অবশ্যই ভিডিওটা মনোযোগ সহকারে দেখবেন এবং সবার সাথে শেয়ার করতে ভুলবেন না।